other people are thinking about me.
You really look fantastic.
In most of the shops that I go into, I get treated very well. I like to be treated the same as everybody else. I don't want to be marked out as something different. I haven't got a cross on my forehead which makes me look different. I'm just normal. The only thing is that I have dementia.
Nice to see you. Good to see you. Thank you. See you soon. See you later.
Lovely to see you.
So you say that's in tomorrow? All right.
I do an awful lot of walking around the town, and I'm spending far too much money doing so. I know a lot of the shopkeepers in Bedminster, so I'll pop in and say hi, maybe even stop and have a cup of tea with them. It's a good community here. It's a safe community, which is also very important. And that is a thing that I don't think comes up very often. Whether you're in a safe environment, people with Alzheimer's, because you are very, very vulnerable. I find that the majority of people expect people with dementia to be of an elderly age. I am 55, only just, and people need to be aware that there are more and more people who are suffering from this disease at an early age. I think I'm quite a fun person. I like to have fun. That's stopped a bit, which is upsetting. But I've got a nice collection of friends and I go out with them. Things have slowed down for me a great deal. There's certain things I can't do, and it's a shame, but I accept that. I am stubborn and I will continue, and I still will go out there and drive my car and go out and about and try and enjoy myself. And that's what I think you've got to try and do. Don't get depressed about it. It is a depressing disease, but don't get depressed about it and try and be strong. And don't just look at somebody, categorise them, because 9 times out of 10 you'll categorise them and put them in the wrong box.
We get on very well together. I'm the explosive one, but Donald used to be very explosive, and he just now laughs at me, don't you? Do you laugh at me, darling? Yes. Sometimes the voice comes out.
Yes.
There is a voice in there, and it sometimes comes out. And I say to you that I want to hear the voice, not just a nod, head nod, but a few words. Will you talk to me, Donald? Donald, will you talk? No, you won't talk to me. Well, that's not very polite, is it? Hilarious. How would I describe dementia? Dementia, well, in Donald's instance, it's the lack of vocabulary. He is very much slower. There is a look in his eyes which sort of indicates that there's something not quite right. He has disappeared into himself, I suppose, and it's sort of trying to bring him out as much as I can. And often there, as I said before, that it's as if little windows open and I see him there. And he'll say something, and I'll think, good heavens, he said something, because he doesn't talk to me very much. And then they close again. And I can have a spell where the windows open a lot of times, and other times where the windows are closed, for a long time. So I have no idea what triggers it off or anything. It's a very, very strange condition, but not a very nice one to be living with. It is so very important that he doesn't feel, at least I feel, it is very important that he still feels that he is part of the world. I always remember the psychiatrist saying, I hope you're leading a calm life. And I said, we've been a very volatile couple all our lives. It can't go away. But it's gone away with Donald. He's very gentle, very kind. And when I say kind, he's very loving. And he has none of the great aggro that a lot of dementia people have. Whereas I tend to blow and not be so patient, which I feel very bad at. It's just adapting to the situations that I find myself in. Okay. Other people don't know how to handle dementia. Actually, there are two ladies in Waitrose at the checkouts who are fantastic, because Donald comes shopping with me, which is quite a thing, because he's supposed to be pushing the trolley, but I end up by pulling the trolley and pulling Donald. And we always go to one or two ladies who are fantastic, because they pack for me and they talk to Donald. And I think that's one of the things that a lot of people seem to ignore, talking to him. He is there, he's still that man inside. And sometimes he will respond and smile, and other times he'll have look dead blank. And I think this is what people can't handle, if they get no response and just this stare. But if they get a laugh or a smile, they will then respond the next time they see him. When people talk to him as if he's a child, but it is the attitude and the voice that they use, and it just makes me curl up inside, because it's not that at all. He needs to be talked to as if he was a normal person and not the village idiot. It must be very difficult for people to know how to actually treat somebody with dementia, because it's a world that, I didn't know anything about, and I'm just trying to have to learn to actually remember that the man that I married and what he was, and that he is still there, but he can't converse. When you're tired, it's a bit difficult.
That's it.
Donald was an architect, a very inspiring architect, and he taught latterly at Bath University, and he was charismatic, because I sat in one of his lectures, and I know from the way his students responded. He won the very first time that they had the Mary Tasker Award it was voted by the students for the best teacher in the school, and he won it. And I could understand why, because he is quite inspirational. And now Donald is a shell of himself. He doesn't talk very much, he doesn't write, but his architecture seems to have faded, and the Donald that I knew and loved has disappeared. And I have to keep on reminding myself that he may well still be there. But it's very difficult, because I have my memories, and the man I live with now is not the man I married, unfortunately.
Are you happy? You happy? Are you happy? Yes.
Whereas he used to be a brisk walker, he used to walk miles and miles, he now shuffles. He has become completely reliant on me. He couldn't be left alone by himself. He can't fend for himself at all, getting dressed or undressed or any of his ablutions. I have to do them all. I think the most important thing I've learned is to actually get as much support as you can do, like having carers coming into the house, because it is important to have respite. Just the little odd pocket where you can remember who you are, and you do something for yourself without always, and that's not being, selfish sort of thing, I want me to be remembered, but it is important to have somebody to care for him, to let you out for a brief moment. But at the end of it all, you have to come and pick up the baton, unless you wish to put him in the home, and I have no desire to do that. I think he likes affection, and that's so very, very important. He still loves his cuddles, and that gives me heart. That gives me heart.
Cancer was a topic that years ago nobody talked about. The big C was never mentioned. And I would like that for dementia sufferers now to be out in the open, and to people be a lot more aware of what it is to suffer from it. If every bank, shop and pub were to train the staff thoroughly in dementia awareness, that would be fantastic.
But people don't seem to actually understand that Donald is still a person, and my magic wand would mean that they would actually treat him as if he's still Donald Wilson.
Understand that not everybody is able to do things the way you want them to do. Just give them a little space to find their way. and if they can't, then help them find their way.
It's vital that people do think and listen to people with dementia, because I think it's a closed book as far as a lot of people are concerned. They don't want to talk about it, they don't want to see it. All I ask for is a bit of courtesy, compassion and understanding.
What I would love to see in the future are communities where people who are living with dementia and their carers can live well and live with inclusion, dignity and respect.
We're very lucky in a lot of ways, aren't we? Even though we have got a problem, but everybody's got problems. It's how you handle them that counts, isn't it?
Yes.
The spirit is still there. It's
Stronger than ever.
yes, it gets silly at times, but there you are. That's a laugh. Gets us out of problems.
Donald and I have a very amenable relationship now. It was very fiery before, but now everything is quietened down. He's still a pleasure to be with, and I would miss him very much if he wasn't here.
I still get a kiss now and again.
If you're lucky.
But, you know, I've got to just carry on and keep as strong as I can and keep as healthy as I can, because that's vital to keep this going.
Every day's a new day, you know. Yeah. I mean, forget yesterday. I'm a today man, and yeah,
Live life to the full.
I live life to the full. I love life, and I shall continue having life. And they'll have to be stamping on my grave to keep me down.
I just want people to, you know, not forget us.